I am so happy to be here with my friend Roberto. We're going to be talking about virtual presentations, and I just want to share my journey with Roberto. He's an amazing teacher. So Roberto and I met at an InfluenceOlogy seminar about 10 years ago, right, Roberto? It's been
Yeah,
a
10
long
years
time.
ago. Time
Yeah.
flies.
And I'm a life and business coach, and I was terrified of public speaking. So much so that I would have to hang on to the table at BNI meetings because my legs would buckle. And I did Roberto's boot camp. And you were there with Jeff Paro, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. And it completely transformed the way I felt about public speaking, Roberto. It was like an amazing experience. And here we are.
10 years later, appreciate that. I appreciate that. I love Tisha and I, origin from Brazil, live in America. I always love your determination and commitment to help people. So I'm super excited to have a conversation today about virtual presentations. I think that any industry right now has been impacted, some in a good way, some in a bad way, most in a bad way, in this pandemic. And I feel like traditional marketing, traditional public speaking, traditional workshops, traditional go and get a talk, why it was super important, why it was my favorite type of communication, being in front of people, it's not going to be the same thing. So we're going to talk about virtual presentations right now and videos. So you do a lot of videos as well, correct?
I do, and I coach women and I help them to do videos and Facebook Lives, Roberto. And I find that a lot of people are really held back by this fear of speaking on video now. And as you know, a lot of businesses have had to go online and be on video and really show up in a different way than they have been. And it's a block for a lot of people. So I always share with them one of the most powerful things that I took away that you taught me was to get out of your own self, stop thinking about yourself and think about the person that you're wanting to help. And I think that tip I pass it on to everybody I know, but I would love to hear, and I'm excited. I'm going to be joining your class coming up soon. I'm excited to learn more, but I would love to hear your tips, your ideas on virtual presentations on video now, because the game's changed pretty dramatically.
For sure. So I call, when I say the word virtual presentation, there's different forms. I want to be super clear. It's not just one type. For example, in our class that you have coming up, I cover 9 different types. And there are things like live video, what you're doing right now, traditional video when you record and you upload on, let's say, YouTube or LinkedIn or Instagram. Then you have webinars, which is awesome. A way to generate clients to shorten the sales cycle. Then you have a 3-day events, which are like a big, long webinar. And it's fascinating here, Trish, when I start doing my classes online, this is my 6th class I'm going to be doing this weekend. A lot of people thought I was crazy. How are we going to do almost 30 hours online? People are going to pass out. And the engagement has been super high because I get people to participate and engage. Engagement is the key. So, and then we also have one-on-one video. So when I talk about virtual presentations specifically, I'm talking about you speaking of a camera, but also I'm talking about these different formats, right? Context is king. And I realized in my career that I divide the virtual presentation atmosphere into 3 major categories. I call the 3 M. M as a Mary, right? The number 1 M is the messenger, is you, is the person, is your confidence level, your charisma, your commitment to consistently create amazing content, is your beliefs about communications, beliefs about your message, your beliefs about engagement. So the presenter first. We always have to work on presenter first. Always. Because a lot of times, Leticia, and you know this, you have the same message here. You have an industry. You have pretty much the same message. And why some people do way better than others? right?
Yeah.
Because it's not only messaging is the second M, is really important.
Mm.
The messenger is extremely important. So we work on that pillar first. And then the second pillar that we work on for virtual presentations is the message. Now, we develop a technology called the primary and secondary belief method, which is super powerful. We can talk a little bit about today. That is a way of you thinking about content creation. Now, nowadays, if you are in business and if you are going to use digital marketing in any shape or form, from lead magnets to webinars to emails to content marketing, you're gonna put information out there. One of the most effective ways to start your content marketing strategy is to stop and do this very quick exercise. Okay, let's say you imagine you have 100 of your prospective clients, buyers, or patients in front of you, 100, but they're not doing business with you yet. And then I wanted to ask, what do they have to believe in order to do business with me?
Mm.
All right, before you do
Love
anything.
that.
Then you actually gonna physically write it down. Okay, well, for them to do business with me, they have to believe that blank. You're gonna come down to one belief, one core belief. That's what I call primary belief method. And then the second question that I want everybody to ask here. By the way, we spent an hour and a half on this exercise, but I want to give you kind of like the overall idea about messaging. Then I wanted to ask, what else do they have to believe in order to believe that? That meaning the primary belief. So let me do an example here. So let's say I'm doing a video on virtual presentations. Right? So
Okay.
the first question I ask is, let's say I have, hypothetically speaking, 100 potential clients for our company. I have to ask myself, what do they have to believe in order to do business with me? That's the first question. All right. So, for example, would be something like they have to believe that doing virtual presentations right now is one of the most effective ways to grow their business. All right. Let's say blank. All right. So then that's a primary belief, and then the second question goes, okay, in order for them to believe that, what else do they have to believe? Well, they have to believe that it's easy to implement, that is not a fad, that they can do themselves, that they can produce results short term. So now I list all those secondary beliefs that support the major belief. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense, and it's such a helpful tool. I cannot wait to start implementing it because I've done that with writing my copy for my business, but I truly don't think about that with the videos. And I always say to my clients, your energy behind everything that you do is the most important thing. It doesn't matter the content, like you said, or how you look or how you're doing it, but the energy behind it is so critical. And that's why I try not to even post a video unless I'm in a really good mood and I'm feeling amazing. But I still feel like I have a long way to go on video. And that's why we're here, actually. And I'm excited to study with you because let's face it, nowadays people's attention spans are really short. And if you don't engage them within a few seconds, they're on to the next video. And so it's a very, very challenging kind of arena right now if you don't know what you're doing, right? So one thing that I wanted to ask you is, you're a very charismatic guy. You're larger than life kind of outgoing personality. But let's say somebody is more of an introvert and they have a quieter personality. How can they come across still interesting and engaging? Because you said a really good word. I love that word, engaging. And that's why we click off of videos and virtual presentations and all that is the engagement. So do you have some, aside from that, what do you suggest for people?
So I think the biggest difference between traditional public speaking workshops to virtual presentations, the major thing is engagement, right? Because when you're communicating to a live audience as a speaker, you can read the audience and adjust. is just harder to do, takes more awareness to do online. So going back to your point, I have met hundreds of introverted presenters who are super. They don't have this outgoing, crazy personality, but they're very effective. Why? Because they can engage their audience in a different way. For example, if you're going to do a virtual presentation, I realized that introverted speakers, they spend more, because introverted, they spend more time elaborating their message, which means most of the time, an introverted speaker shows up with more organized content, organized message, which is better than just going an extroverted person, because the extroverted person goes, I'm ready, let's go. I can do this. And sometimes they're rambling all over the place. And an introverted person, like, took the time. So the message per se sometimes can be even better if you're introverted, because you take more time to think about the message. That's number one. Number two, engagement doesn't mean you don't have to have, while charisma is really important, there's people don't understand there's different types of charisma, and that's going to be very helpful for people who don't think they're charismatic. In our classes, I do this exercise where I ask people, think of like one person or two people that you feel are, that in your opinion, they're very charismatic. And I say, write it down. And they go, okay, I'm going to write it down. And I say, could it be in business, politics, religion, could it be spirituality, could it be anybody that you feel, in your opinion, is charismatic, is a major communicator, and they write it down. And then I say, okay, now we have two names, yes. Now do me a favor. Write down two characteristics that, in your opinion, makes that person charismatic. And Tish, you know what I realize? And I have them to post the answers. What the audience feels or thinks that makes them charismatic is not one answer. Anything from good storyteller, smile, authentic, genuine, caring. Right? So gotcha. there's a lot of characteristics: caring, smile, sincere, authentic. So a lot of things that like that. Oh, I like the person is charismatic because he's sincere. Now, it's not the traditional term charismatic, outgoing, smiling, personal. Right? It's totally different. So there's different ways of being charismatic. You don't have to speak loud, have a lot of energy. Not at all. Not at all. So I think number one is, as a communicator, you have to embrace your own style. Right?
Yes. Yeah. You bring a good point, because I really love to watch Mel Robbins. I don't know if you know who she is.
Mm-hmm.
And she's very real and authentic. And it's not perfect ever. Mm-hmm. I know she's really good on stage, but that point that you made me think of her. And that's why I like her, because she's authentic and she's real. So it's not because she's perfect or she's doing all those things that you would think. Yeah, exactly.
And I think that speak to that point, I think that people think, oh, presentation training, I have to act in a certain way. And I go on a different route. Man, we all have a different style. Yeah. And it becomes super powerful when you find your own song, when you find your own style, and then we improve it upon that. That's it,
I
and
love
that becomes
that.
super powerful. So my framework, just to I open a loop here, is the messenger, the person, the message, and obviously we start with the primary beliefs and secondary beliefs, then we get into storytelling, and the third M is marketing. Is how we use technology nowadays to get your message from people. A ton of people, and here's a message really important: so many entrepreneurs still resisting technology nowadays. It's crazy. For me, it's crazy. And marketing, the biggest difference between marketing 20 years ago and marketing now is technology.
Yeah.
You have to embrace. I mean, literally, you have to embrace it. I'm not saying that you have to know how to do it all, because it's impossible, but you have to embrace it, know the basics, and have someone to help you out. And people, the people who are resisting technology, I really feel sad, because I come across some people, they're like, man, where do we start? Because they have been resisting for so long. So the cool thing about, as a presenter, as a communicator, as an advocate, as an influencer, someone who has a message, in my career, I've been doing this since 2002, from 2002 to 2008 with Tony Robbins, and now with our company since 2009. I cannot see a better time to have a purpose, to have a voice, to become an advocate, because right now, is the knowledge that I give to my clients is this. Before, I just offer chocolate ice cream. Everybody likes ice cream. And now you offer chocolate ice cream and cookies and cream ice cream. Which one you want? Meaning that, yeah, you can offer traditional events and seminars and talks, and also you can offer online, because some people like more like a traditional, want to go that way. Some people want to do the virtual stuff. So for me, that's how I see it, and I really feel there's a massive opportunity for everybody right now.
You know, I totally agree. I've had to embrace technology myself, and I'm doing things that I never imagined that I could do. And it really, once you get started, you make that decision. It's really not that hard, and like you said, get some help. But if you were going to make some technological suggestions for people that want to do virtual presentations, what would you suggest for somebody who's afraid to get started? Let's say, what would you say for them to do?
So I want to give a shout out. I'll shout out to our my friend from Puerto Rico, Dr. Carlos Celes, amigo.
Hello.
Hello. Here in out, Tish.
The Brazilians are here.
No, this Carlos is from Puerto Rico.
All right.
Have you been at Puerto Rico, Tish, or no?
I haven't. I would love to go.
I'll tell you, Puerto Rico is amazing. One of my favorite places. I've been there twice. It's truly paradise. So going back to technology, depending on the type of virtual presentation that you want to do, for me personally, specifically, I use a technology for when I'm doing events. I use Zoom. When I'm doing live streaming, I use StreamYard. I'm a big fan of StreamYard. When I'm doing one-on-one video, which yesterday I did a video about doing one-on-one video. I recorded in 2 years 1,755 one-on-one videos. I do a lot of one-on-one videos. I use a platform called Dubb, D-U-B-B, and so depends on the type of a presentation. I use a different technology. Obviously, you want to have everybody spend. And I go over in our event. You want to have a good microphone. You want to have a little good camera. You don't have or webcam. You want to have some lights. You want to make sure you can start improving your presentation space. Is important. I think it's important. One thing that I think a lot about that 9/11, right? When that happened before, it really changed how we travel. Right? Since then, you can never go travel without going to a security checkpoint, right? You never. Think about that. That's a change. That change forever. And I feel this pandemic, this whole virtual presentation space is not that. It's like, if you're still caught up to think, oh, this is we'll go back to normal. No, we won't. Now, you may have live events. Right. You may have traditional events, of course, but this idea of like virtual presentation or being able to do events and build communities online and speak online and engaging people online is just going to keep growing. Think about that. So I feel like anybody who has a product, a service, a membership to sell can benefit from using virtual presentations. And there's a lot of technology. So much so that when I used to teach our classes before, the class that you went years ago, I didn't talk about technology. And now to adjust, I spend almost a day talking about technology because it's so important and how integrate technology and marketing, right? How they work together. That's the idea.
I can't wait, but I do recall during that class, you guys saying how important it was to be on video too. You
Mhm.
did
Yeah,
touch on
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And my journey through video has been a rocky one. And there are times when I feel like I'm very get engaging and I get more views, and then I feel like there's some times when it's not engaging. So I'm really looking forward to all the tips and techniques that you have to offer during this course. And I agree with you. I actually love it that I can now go to your presentation and be in my pajamas. I see it as a benefit. Like I'm in my sweatpants right now, but um, I love that option, especially for people who have children, as you
Yeah.
know. All of that is great, but I personally miss the human contact, the human engagement. So I'm looking forward to hopefully having both,
Yeah,
having
whole both. Yeah, that's
both
the
sides.
the
Yeah,
chocolate and cookies and cream. Which one you want?
there you go.
That's the
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, so Roberto, I have a lot of clients who really want to go and do a Facebook Live, and they're afraid. Are there any quick tips that you can offer for them to help them to overcome that fear and also be powerful, let's say, in the platform of a Facebook Live, a live
Yes,
video?
one thing that I did, which most people don't do, which I don't think they're aware. First thing is I open up a private Facebook group just for me. Right?
Okay.
Literally just for me.
Wow.
And why? Why do I do that? Well, I did that because now when I go live and I want to test my connection, I want to test my mic, the lighting, the setting, whatever.
Mm.
And then I go live there to my private group and just me. And I'm like, okay, sound good. Then it's kind of like I warm up before I go live. That's number one thing. Right?
Mm. I
So
love
I
it.
always, when I'm testing new technology, when I'm testing StreamYard, when I test my connection, I test my new mic, whatever I'm testing, I always go there. I do like a 5-second live. Say good, good, good. I always check. It's just me. Why not? So that's something
Hmm.
that's a little tip. Anybody can do that. The second thing, when you do Facebook Live, people feel they feel awkward to go live. But if you now all the platforms now they're giving a lot of weight to live video. Oh, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. So if live is the future of video, so you got to be able to um to capitalize on it. So personally, don't script, don't script, don't script. If you want to use like talking points and you can put like sticky notes on a computer and you have 2 or 3 sticky notes, you can do that. I have it. No, not shame. I have a couple here. Uh, and you have it right there. And then number
Yeah.
two, if you can, having maybe an example or a story to illustrate
Mm.
your message becomes super powerful. We all have a journey with video marketing. We all have a journey. So a lot of people, they look someone who's more trained on video marketing, like, man, I cannot be like that person. But they don't realize that everybody went the journey. I read a quick story. I remember one of my first videos I ever recorded. When I started recording videos, they had those flip cameras. Remember those flip cameras back in the day? And
Yeah.
I didn't know how to edit videos. So for me, it was like this. I record a video and my strategy was get it right one time. And then I get the flip camera, plug in my computer. I download the file, upload on YouTube. But that was my strategy. And I remember Trish, one day, I had my tripod, right? I had my tripod and I put my flip camera. And I'm like, and I was trying to record a 5-minute message. And I'm like, okay, let's go. And hi, Roberto Monaco here, InfluenceOlogy, blah, 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 mess up. And I'm like, ah. Then I used to walk towards the camera, stop the video, start again, because I didn't know how to edit the video. Didn't know editing skills. So then I go back, say, let's do it again. And I did it like maybe 20 times. And I start sweating. And I had a meeting to go. And I'm like, come on, man, you're speaking, coach. You got to get this right. I'm like, and I'm like doing my thing. I'm like, okay, let's go. And then I do it. And when your voice, you were speaking to the camera and the back you have your voice goes, okay, bro, you're almost there, you're almost there. And let's say my message is 5 minutes, and it was like 4 minutes and 50 seconds, and I messed up. I said the wrong word. And I'm like, I said the word fudge, which was the other word, but I'm like, fudge. And I walked to the camera sweating, stop. I start again. I'm like, come on. So then I start breathing again. Then I finally did it. But because I had a meeting to go, I got my flip camera, put on my computer, upload the video on YouTube, and I really went to my meeting. A month later, I went on YouTube. I saw all these comments. I had uploaded the wrong file. The fudge one, walking towards the fudge. I really uploaded the wrong file. And I was there, and I'm like, oh, man.
Oh, I love it.
I feel so bad.
Yeah.
I feel so bad. And we all go. Look, gotta keep real. We all go through.
I'm laughing because that was exactly what I used to do. Like when I started on video, I cannot remember, like I remember doing it 30 times, sweat dripping, you're like stressed out.
Yeah.
You just want to throw the camera away. So I totally get it, but I actually think that one where you said fudge was probably a really exciting one for a lot of people.
I
would have really enjoyed it.
I wish I had kept. I was so embarrassed. I deleted from YouTube. I wish I had kept there back in the day as a learning lesson to show people. But anyway,
I love it. I love it. Well, we've come a long way, and I want to come even a longer way with your knowledge and your expertise. And Roberto, even years back when I took your Influencing from the Front class, you talked about the value of being on video. So let's talk a little bit about that. What are people really missing out on for their business when they're not doing videos regularly? Like there's a lot of money, opportunities, possibilities that they're just not being able to access.
Well,
right?
I'll tell you this. I always ask people when think about in terms of like the last biggest purchase you made. Not like when you're gonna go to the store and buy a bottle of water, but the biggest purchase you made. Did you watch a video before? Did you watch a video about if you when you hire someone, when you jump in and you hire a professional service person? Did you watch a video? Did you do some research? And most people, they say yes, right? And I think that if you're not doing video effectively and consistently, I feel like you're gonna become a person who speaks Portuguese to an audience who understands Mandarin only. Just won't connect.
Yeah.
Or a person who speaks Mandarin to an audience who understands Portuguese. Whatever that, I've just given an analogy here. You just won't connect with people. It's like I cannot tell you from all the classes, coaching sites for our clients. It's like usually before they say yes, they heard you somewhere, they see a video somewhere. It's just that's the direction that marketing is going. Now, obviously, the more people do videos, there's a bigger competition. Right? There's a big competition. So for me, I don't think in terms of I gotta record this video and this video it's just video is an extension of how I communicate, how I promote. Is just a communication. Now, what I do believe is in context, right? There's different forms. There are videos that I record for our private websites. That's a different feel. There's a different look. There are videos that are recorded to one person. The 1,700 plus that are recorded is a different feel. That's what we're doing right now, having a conversation here, a live conversation. There's webinars. That's a different feel. All these videos have a different feel because context is king. But it's kind of like, we'll hi from England. So mega from England. Someone saying, Anyway, so that's the idea. I feel like if you're not using video, just gonna miss out big time.
I agree. And I tell my clients this. I really up leveled my business last year. I invested a lot in different things. But the one thing that I didn't invest in was my communication on video. And that's why I made the decision to sign up for your class.
Mm-hmm.
But the point that I make to my clients is personally have purchased a $7,000 coaching package from one video that a coach made that I felt like she got in my head. She knew what I was thinking. She knew my problem. And that's the power of video. I mean, I knew who she was, but it could be that one video where you're really speaking to your client's pain point, their needs, or what they desire that can really help you make a decision, like you said, to buy or to work with that person. So that's why I decided that this is far more important, and I needed to give it a lot more attention for my business.
And plus, I was talking to one of my coaching clients before I would jump in this live.
Mm-hmm.
Is that everybody nowadays for an entrepreneur or a company or brand to develop their own events is super easy, super fun, and super powerful.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
A virtual event.
Yeah.
Is a way for you to connect the highest level. Virtual events is just gonna grow. You can open up all the economy tomorrow. Let's say COVID is gone, it's not an issue. It's still the whole time issue, money issue, travel issue. How effective it is to have a virtual meeting. I haven't found an industry that cannot, benefit from doing a type of educational program online, doing virtual. So I'm excited for your upcoming event that you're going to be doing. I'm going to put you on the spot already. Online event.
Let's go. I'm fired up. Well, Roberto, this has been super enlightening, super fun. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. And I just got to say this personal thing. Your children are the most beautiful children. And when you post stuff about it, it just lights up my heart. It's just so cute.
Thank you so much.
And it makes me miss it when my son was little. So it's like such a treat, and they're so beautiful. You're so blessed. You have a beautiful family. And guys, if you are not doing video, if you want to learn more, Roberto over delivers. I can tell you that right now. So join Roberto. What is your class called that's coming up?
It's called Influencing from the Front for the Virtual Presenter. There's a link below here. If you go to influencing from the front.com, it's going to go to the website, and you have this awesome class. And I'll tell you, it's super intimate, super fun, super engaging. You're speaking, you're not sitting down, just taking notes. You're actually speaking, doing talks, recording videos, super fun. So
awesome. Well, thank you for your time, Roberto. I'll see you over the weekend, and guys, check it out.
All right.
And nice to see everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Roberto. Bye.